Well, hey YouTube, it's MIgardener, and today I'm going to be showing you something pretty cool. I recently was kind of raking up the yard, and I noticed that there was some nuts here. And what I've gathered is just some hickory nuts. And there's certain things that you can do with hickory nuts, and of which I'm going to teach you guys some Hickory Nut 101. Now, I'm going to bring you guys in close to show you these type of hickory nuts, but there's essentially two type of hickory nuts. One is a shell bark, which I also have over there. And there's a common hickory that is also right behind me there. And so we have two varieties, and I'll tell you kind of the differences of the two, and I'll show you the differences kind of in the nut as well and the uses for them. So I'm going to bring you guys in close. I'm going to show you those really quick. Alright, so in this bucket here, I have pretty much all common hickory nuts. Now the hickory nut is it's very commonly seen in its brown form. A lot of times you'll see it in its shelled form. As you can see, it comes right out there. This is the best time to harvest hickory nuts. It's late fall, you know, and these are almost ripe. The best time to harvest your hickory nuts is when they fall on the ground. In the green state, sometimes a lot of times squirrels will knock them off, and these are not ripe. If you were to peel this open, you know, it would be very, very tan, and it would not be as robust of a flavor. So this right here is a prime example of a shell bark hickory nut, and I'll show you the difference in the barks. As you can see, this is the common hickory. It's pretty average tree bark. But if you were to come over here, this is a shell bark hickory, and the shell bark hickory make good eating nuts. The shell bark hickory are a larger nut. As you can see by the palm of my hand, they're significantly larger. And they have a sweeter nut, more for eating. The common hickory will have a smaller nut, and as you can see, significantly smaller. I mean, that's even a bigger hickory nut, but the nut itself is significantly smaller. And these are very bitter. The common hickories are almost impalatable because they are so bitter. But one thing that makes these very, very good is I'm going to collect them for cooking with, not for cooking itself, but for meats. If you put a bunch of these nuts and everything right into a tin, cover the tin with aluminum foil, you can actually set them on the grill, and when they smoke, you're going to put them in just a little bit of water, soak them just like you would anything else, like wood chips, and you can actually smoke them, and then when you make your meats, they're going to have that great hickory flavor, and that is extremely, it's priceless. I mean, the hickory chips cost so much at the store, and you can actually get them just by foraging. And also, I thought it was worth mentioning that if you shuck the shell bark hickory nuts, once you shuck them, you want to roast them after they've already been, like the meat has been taken out of the skin. A lot of times you'll roast whole nuts to get the flavor in, but in this case you don't want to do that. You want to actually roast after you get the meat out, and that's just for the ones you plan on eating. Like I said, for these, whole nuts, everything. Don't even worry about the meat inside. Everything will do just fine. If you feel like you want to take the meat out, they have been made into animal feed. You can definitely feed them to animals. A lot of people do that. But the main use for this is actually as a hickory bark substitute. You can just soak the whole nut or the nut shells in some water, and then you can smoke them so your meat smells like hickory. And you can also put it in your wood-burning stove. And if you have a wood-burning stove, it's going to make your house smell very, very kind of cabiny, so it's a cool thing. And they also last all winter long if you store them in a nice, cool, airtight container, such as this bucket. If you had a lid on it, they'd last all season. So you can always pull them out when you're having a nice party or just you want a nice smell in your house. So I'm gonna get to making that smoke bucket, or that smoke container for the grill, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I just ate that one shell bark hickory nut, and it was fantastic. It has the most just nutty kind of, I don't know, it's the best flavor ever, but Zoe, sorry about that. But no, I've been soaking these for about 5 to 10 minutes, just enough to get the shells and everything kind of soaked with water. And I'm just gonna put them in this little tin here. A lot of times you can get rolls, or you can get some. Sorry about that, Zoe. There you go. You can get some pies, just pie tins, and I'm just gonna layer these in here. Trying to get a whole lot of extra water, but you just want them to be fairly soaked. And then I'm going to show you what you do next. Alright, so that's probably about enough, maybe a few more. Zoe, those are not for you. She thinks everything is there to eat. Okay, so next I'm going to take some just regular aluminum foil, and if I can get it out here, there we go. I'm just going to take them, I'm just going to cover them up. Like you would do with any other wood chips or bits of smoking chips. And then you just make sure that's all sealed pretty well there. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take a fork, poke some holes in there, of which I forgot a fork, but just take a fork, poke some holes in there, and then you can toss it right on the grill, and it's going to flavor your meats with a really cool, great, nutty, smoky flavor. So I hope you enjoyed that tip. Hopefully you enjoyed the Hickory Nut 101, and next week I will have the update on the microgreens. They hadn't sprouted yet, so I thought I'd substitute with this pretty cool how-to video. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, hopefully you guys learned something, and as always, this is MIgardener reminding you to grow big or go home. Catch you guys later. See ya. Bye.